being in life and death mode is more important than being in beast mode. Life is always testing you and attempting to provide an escape route. You must have the mindset to show up every day of your life rather than attempting to find an excuse not to show up. Regardless of the challenges life presents, it is our duty to demonstrate to the prepare for combat coliseum of life. I don't care what you're going through. Finding your new 100% is your duty, regardless of what life throws at you. Hunts' excitement in their hearts is a component of their nature as beasts. They like watching the gazelles run, and then they take off because they are actual lions. Like hunting because they enjoy the hunt as much as the reward. While others, everyone wants to be a beast, but if you're simply interested in scoring, you don't enjoy the process. Until it's time to do what animals do, divide people's perceptions of your might. When people comment negatively about you, I feel like a shark because it's about risking everything, about challenging yourself and putting your all into something. You understand that individuals sometimes lie, but you can't be a lion if you ignore the jungle's laws and remain steadfast in your resolve to never return to the life you used to lead, maintaining your dedication to building riches for yourself and raising your kids, to be more accountable and maintain your dedication to making a contribution. One of the reasons I bought it was to behave like a conqueror and to have a third in dominion over everything in your life. If life knocks you down, try landing on your back, because if you can gaze up, you can get back up, according to one of my recordings. There won't be any rejections every day, but if you're hungry enough, there will be reasons to get back up. The world will find a place for you, but you fear being put to the test, because the path to success is rocky. Do you believe you have the right mentality now? Beast mode. You must go on and use more effort. You don't have time to back off. Excuses aside, this is about getting out of my way. Therefore, you must understand easy doesn't work. Therefore, you'd best become tough when things go rough. You must work for your advancement. You cannot swindle your way up. Is prepared to succeed, but not everyone is cut out to be at the top. Additionally, if you're experiencing a mental breakdown, your body will accept anything that you must realize. That wasting the mind is a dreadful thing. The mind is telling you what to do, because the body won't be right if the mind isn't correct. Therefore, you must recognize that you must have a link, a connection of struggle and justice. The relationship between your fidelity, your skills, your strength, and everything you do right now matters in terms of your honor and integrity. You have to go through this location without waiting for someone else to do it for you. You were created to live and fight. Therefore, now is the day to push yourself. Even if you're employed for the remainder of your life, put in a little more effort. Can't do easy. Some people can do it and succeed. Others can't do it and push. Running the additional mile is simple, but lifting that weight is not. If it's simple, how are you developing? If it's simple, how will you be at your best? Therefore, for the time being, don't ask for it. Accept it. You'll receive the benefits later. Obtain it if you think you can succeed, then make it work for you. You must now also realize that it won't be simple or straightforward. Every stroll in the park has something to offer. Therefore, you must be prepared to make a sacrifice. You must be willing to do whatever it takes, even hurting others. Continue moving ahead and don't give up on those things or your life. Don't you give up on doing what it takes to maximize your potential representatives. Some of you may be asking yourselves, why is this guy yelling when I'm not? I'm sounding off and creating noise to frighten away your justifications. Because it's possible that weakness is unaware of your strength. I know for myself that if I have to yell it out, I will do so. I won't let these keep me down, and I won't allow anybody tell me that I don't count or that this place of business does. I have no business, but I do have a voice, strength, passion, and love for everything. Whatever I've got within, and I give it to you, the listener, and that I award it to the swimmer, the marathon runner, and the weightlifter. it to the zoom against it, regardless of your identity or origin. When the time comes, you have to realize that you need to improve and become more resilient. Nothing that did not create you can break you. Thus, you must be stronger. Be the strongest of the strongest and the finest version of yourself. Don't let anything or nobody can hold you back because you have it all. You own it, love it, and live it. Give it your all. And please, from the bottom of your heart, continue to be productive. Tenacious in it, make no excuses, and go about your business. Your thinking says no when the alarm clock goes off at 4 or 5 in the morning, so you just say we do what we do today because it's the only way to reach where you want to go. The degree of suffering, I'm not referring to physical suffering, nor am I suggesting that you should isolate yourself. The degree of mental. The agony of having to do an action you don't want to perform repeatedly to reach your desired destination. When I weighed 297 pounds and was as obese as even now, I still find becoming a Navy SEAL to be the most terrifying thing in the world. I believed that might have been the rest of my life, so I made a lot of effort. When I was working for 297 pounds, I felt it was the scariest thing in the world. Ecolabs praying for bugs earning $1,000 a month made me believe that I was at my zenith. Could learn more a few years later. That 106-pound less Navy graduate who was still training was far away from me. Considering that I made a concerted effort, don't do all these other things. People need to comprehend what is within of us, since we don't know until we start. Putting out a lot of effort, when you're fixated on something. Is this my new normal? Wow, this isn't always enjoyable. It's not always intended to be enjoyable. And when you realize that you're making an effort, you'll know that others are paying attention. You know, I'm going hard, I'm going max, and they're not seeing the effects, but they could be in their 20s or 30s. Like, how can they really mold themselves from that? Life is all about fighting our own minds, and that's the greatest. As opposed to concentrating on everything, the right thing in the universe is that your own brain may operate for you or against you. You began to reflect after all of the negative things that occurred, including the fact that you were no longer addressed by individuals who called you names in Brazilian. Hold on a minute, I just pictured this. And now that the vision has you on board, I can take it to the next level. Through it did, and I could see how it would finish. Previously, when I was 297, I was drinking and so overweight and unfit that I was unable to run a quarter mile. I imagined what it would be like to eat boxes of donuts and drink milkshakes. I briefly became aware that there were 22 males who graduated when I saw this TV piece. I wanted a superb swimmer, but I was scared of the fact that these men were still preparing for the Navy. Water all this shithead. However, it ends with the words, 22 guys are command officers up there, and it delivers a powerful message. I thought, dude, I wonder. So I began to imagine myself sitting there with the 23rd dude wearing these dress whites. I thought, God, these guys are graduating as Navy SEALs, and they're still training. So I placed myself there. I thought, man, that's an incredible feeling. I placed myself there at 297, not even capable of doing any task that these outstanding individuals were performing. I can sense it lasts for a long time. I had no idea what would happen once you crossed the stage with the certificate in a second. I felt I would live in that moment forever, so I thought, wow, man, if I could just do it like that, if I could feel it, and what was that sensation you so desperately desired? No, Smith, I wanted to win, not I didn't want to beat someone else. I simply wanted to go the distance. Anything in my life. And if it was reading, I stopped because it was difficult. You see, I wasn't very good at reading. I just resigned since I couldn't pick things up as quickly as you could, and I didn't put in as much effort as you did. You know, I'm not very good at this, so I left. If I could simply go that way, dude, it would be wonderful. Distance the more, mile to just go in order to complete. I want to feel victorious. And for me, victorious meant just completing, so I responded, "You know what? These folks seem to think it would improve my life." Yet I came to the realization. My favorite moment was when I was attempting to lose by myself. I had to shed this weight in less than 3 months, 106 pounds in less than 3 months, and I felt like I had won. It wasn't about becoming a Navy SEAL. It was about putting myself in the fight. I began to realize that training wasn't about becoming the 23rd man in that chair. Guy, just by engaging in daily combat with myself and imposing these obstacles and these objectives and these enormous challenges. So it wasn't about me dropping 106 pounds. Losing 5 pounds was a success for me. I went on to lose 10, 50, and more. Doing, and as my confidence grew, I came to the realization that these men couldn't do what I was doing correctly. I know how to lose weight even if I don't have a coach, trainer, or money right now. I worked without knowing what I was doing, made sacrifices, and then through that, when these various technologies began to appear, I would never have discovered. We all search for these skills if I don't put myself in a really unpleasant situation. We all want hardness, yet we search for it in a cozy setting. You won't find hardness in a cozy setting like that of whoever is listening to this won't be able to locate it. So what is the mindset of a lion, the ruler of the jungle? You've heard that lions rule the forest, but have you ever given it any thought? Ask yourself, how is he able to rule the jungle? He isn't the largest. The elephant is most likely among the largest. He is also unable to be the quickest, since it would be a how can a lion become the ruler of the world. The cheetah isn't the largest, quickest, or smartest because he can't be the brightest. What sets the lion apart from the other creatures in the forest and makes him the king of the forest? The way lions think is the single thing that separates them from elephants. When he approaches and sees an elephant, he assumes it's lunch. I'm attempting to help people adopt a new perspective on life where the pain of failure, sorrow, and dissatisfaction is a powerful teaching tool, and many people don't get it, but I always bring it up when you share these special experiences with me, Rocky. Round 14. That 2-minute, 13-second clip showing Rocky rising after being thrown down by Apollo. I watched that one tape during a very difficult period in my life. The person who won everything he did wasn't the one I wanted to be there. Instead, he was a man who continued standing up after being struck down, which made me understand that 2 minutes and 13, my life was completely transformed in a matter of seconds when I saw something that I needed in the world. Perhaps someone will give my narrative the 2 minutes and 13. Everybody has a tale of how altered their lives in a matter of seconds. We post about our pleasant lives on social media instead of sharing it. Everybody has a dungeon, and I'm only prepared to discuss mine. Little toughness is something you've lived with all your life, not something you taste. Every day when something difficult happens and you're not sure what it is, it can be different for you than it is for me. But you return to your insecurities, and then you seek comfort when you return to your security. We all search beneath those fears for the cookie your mother used to give you when you're feeling down. We search for solace in our spouses or wives. You have to retrain your mind to think differently about health at such times. The prevailing belief is that you should be aware of your progress. As I enter the room, I'm aware that I have spent hours, years, and decades dating Goggins. That's something, but it's not a trophy or anything that's shown on the wall. I don't give a damn about your opinion on David Goggins, since throughout my trip, I discovered the one component I was lacking. I first believed it to be cars, then I believed it to be women. Everything except for having the guts to confront myself was what I was lacking. The hours I had to spend studying were the source of my work ethic. You have a handicap, so you're not clever when you sit down, but you still. When I discovered that I could learn if I worked hard, I wanted to be at the top of your class rather than just get by. And if I put in 10 more hours a day, I may surpass the school valedictorian day than he does. And he is aware of the power that comes from sitting down with someone who values 20 for an hour. And you are aware that I have the work ethic necessary to catch you. Yes, the actual invention of David Younger took place at a kitchen table with 20 spiral notebooks that were empty. And then they were filled. I still have them in my storage unit, so you may read through that. You discover that this is how I learned, via your life's spiral notebooks. This is unreal. It wasn't until I became very ill, and my life became rather calm. After 39 hours and 205 miles of jogging, I was unable to get out of bed. After my life was taken away, I realized that I hadn't given myself enough time to reflect on my life was a race. And even though I completed all of these tasks, there was no finish line. Now that he has given me my medal, I get in my vehicle and drive off. I was leaving a lot of things in the tank while I was finding out who I was as a God-man. I was basically a stupid, obese child who was ridiculed. And today I weigh 180 pounds and have lost 106 gaining pounds in less than 3 months. Learning to read, doing this, and doing that made me think I need more. As I was supplying I never took the time to say, my God, you came from this hell and you're here despite everything. I did not attend this those 0 kilometers from my starting point, but in case you were unaware, still, you're just making $7 each month. Thus, many hours and years are spent in that peaceful location by yourself, and decades alone in the clutches of existence, when you're being held by the neck and suffocating you, and you're sitting quietly while attempting to solve the problem. You're suggesting there is a way around this, not that you're panicking, giving up, or throwing in the towel. Additionally, you can discover it out when life has you clinging to advice. When it happens, you will have triumphed. The whole point of it is that the process of getting there was more difficult than actually experiencing it. The journey that shapes who you are is your life mass. When you have fallen or made a mistake, self-criticism is the worst thing you can do. Life may be quite unpleasant at the end of the day. We may worry and endure loss. With the sleeplessness brought on by repeated terrible adversity, it is unavoidable. Self-compassion is what empowers us to confront our shortcomings, anxieties, to confront our doubts and the aspects of ourselves that we dislike. And when you are feeling down, find a means to rise back up and come out on top. Like everyone else, I've been there and experienced it, but I work. For you, it's the true test of mental development. How you respond to being knocked down affects you both emotionally and spiritually. That's where the growth occurs. Look at it and analyze where you are. Evaluate both yourself and the circumstances that led you there. We are all self-made, but just the part did you play? Successful people would acknowledge that in order to start moving, you must remove all the "for my own experience." I'm telling you about the needless baggage that's holding us down. I am aware of what my life was like when I entered 55, and what it was like when I did not attempt to enter 55. When I didn't care, I was aware of what my life was like without any aspirations or material possessions that I didn't want. You put in 120, darling, and I'm putting in 120 because I know what my life was like. It impacts more than just your life. Is it clear to you that it has an impact on the lives of your friends, family, and community? I'm urging you to quit settling, and that I'm pushing you to start again from where you are. I'm putting you to the test, and I'm pushing you to quit accepting the life that was handed to you. Do you think that my attempt to provide you 120 is insufficient? Attempting won't get you there. You need talent and application. Need commitment, inspiration, discipline, and comprehension. The task has to be done, so even if you don't want to, find a method to accomplish it. In any case, I will return stronger and better because of it. You must declare that this is what you believe in. If you are going to prevail in the struggle for your future, you will have to develop self-compassion, confront the problem and embrace it instead of avoid obstacles. And when you find yourself condemning yourself, don't give up on yourself. Comparing yourself unfavorably to others and looking for motivation in their accomplishments and assets. Rather of feeling intimidated, you're defending your goals and tranquility. You're advocating for your health. You want it and you're going to do all in your power to, in the end, the elephant that operates animal kingdom pays greater attention to the boundaries. Lions hunt during storms more often than any other animal in the forest, and they mostly hunt at night. Because the wind and noise make it difficult for prey to see and hear them, they hunt during storms. The mindset of lions and all that goes. Along with it, lions are brave, and they are responsible for their own fate. And I will need you to use your lion mentality to conquer your region. You don't have to be the largest, the brightest, or the quickest, but you must take on the attitude of a lion and show affection for both your brick, and it is your responsibility to make the most of each and every rep you put out. You put a lot of effort into achieving the lion's attitude, which is fearless bravery. Courage and leadership possess an lion's mindset. Are you ready to labor and dig? You have to fight. You must exert yourself, offer all you have, and conceal nothing. Power constraint and the will to give it your all. Perhaps you're merely buried in debt. Defend what you believe in, or don't give up or give up because you assume that others don't understand. You may have tried repeatedly, but you must be brave, daring, and persistent in pursuing your goals. Once again, and nothing has worked. Maybe you've lost hope since you've been searching for your objectives for years without any rewards. Allow me to share Ryan's only scream for 2 hours a day and talk for the other 16 to 20 hours. A lion is aware that during those 2 hours, they must put all they have into it, and everyone should get out of their way, as they will destroy whatever in their path. There's no assurance that anything will pay off today, but if you keep searching, you have to keep battling. There are chances, but if you give up, your only assurance is failure. Assurance that you won't take advantage of your next chance to build the life you say you want. There will always be more hurdles to overcome. Therefore, it won't be simple. To give you must be prepared to make sacrifices and endure pain. You must have the courage to shout out whatever it takes to keep moving ahead. Please don't give up on your life. You are brave. Lions are well prepared to confront pain and danger. Lions cannot afford to doubt their skills, since doing so might result in their death. How would your life change if you had the lion's level of bravery? What might you achieve? What did you try? How far could you go if you made the decision to trust in your own abilities and abilities? Climb if you only had faith in your own talents. What distinguishes you from the path? When a challenge arises, you will conquer it and kick it down. Will rise if you have faith in yourself. It will arrive when you need it. I have too much to do to be content with my current situation. When prey is waiting to be devoured, they don't lie. They sprint, leap, and do everything else they can. A lion's unwavering fearlessness is essential for survival. It never gives up because, when the victim fights, how would your life alter if you persisted in facing hardship? What obstacles would you overcome if you persisted in your efforts despite life's resistance? Are in charge of your outcomes, know what's best for you, and only you know what life demands. You have all you need to achieve, and you want to live because you are capable of greatness. You are stronger than you could have ever imagined. I want to see you work, but I won't. Once again, I want you to experience everything, to suffer, to be wounded. I urge you to struggle and bleed, because now is the moment to show the world and show up and flaunt yourself. You must realize that it takes perseverance, desire, and resolve to reach the level at which you want to be the youngest man in the vast cosmos. What will you do about it now? Breathe and never give up. You alone are aware of the course you should follow at every point in your life, and you must bravely follow it. Lions have a heart, thus they never give up easily. As the ruler of the jungle, lions are incapable of displaying any symptoms of weakness. They lie, create excuses, and carry out their duties. And they are prepared to die for their honor, regardless of how outnumbered they are. Do you have what it takes to continue? Are you capable of going the additional mile, doing the extra push-ups, or lifting the extra laps? The excess weight? But what if you don't give up? They could be quicker or smarter than you, larger than you, but since you have a lion's attitude, you will prevail and take the throne instead. Not only will you not lose, but you will also remain focused on your goal. Whatever you want, as you have a lion inside of you. However, my mindset has made me the king of my jungle. Regardless of how strong you believe you are, everyone gets knocked down. And when you fall, sometimes you fall rather forcefully. But let me tell you something. That earth is a firm surface. Therefore, it won't shift since you're laying on it. So you must get up, get above it, and begin moving. Sometimes you will need to get back on your feet, go inside, pray, meditate, and refuel. Clear your mind for a while, then return to examine it from a new angle. Don't work while you're enchanted or affected by what's happening. Stop accomplishing things and stop putting out 50, 64 effort. Look, there are a lot of people walking. Stop, do it correctly, or don't do it at all. Do you hear me? These days, they exhibit unbridled anger, unbridled hostility, and unbridled worry, fear, and security. You must care about yourself enough to deal with it. Find a solution that will help you determine what you should do next. I'm going to push it that far and beyond. How will you make the most of your time and energy? Put all you own, everything you are, and everything you do into this craft as if it were your own. 78, and what I want you to do is look in the mirror and tell yourself, come on, stop playing. Deserve to see what my life would be like if I gave 120. You must remain committed. Moving ahead, you must continue to fight the good fight. You must set aside your justifications since they won't make you feel better. Offer you the authority you really need, foreigner. You must be prepared to use your willpower to assert that you are in charge of this situation despite everything. I will not allow myself to be depressed or destroyed by this. How long will you remain down after losing your job, losing a loved one, or being knocked down? Do you have the capacity to endure whatever it is, your spouse, your wife, your kid, etc.? Regardless of what you're going through, the sorrow and sadness of that loss. When you are at your weakest, it is the perfect moment to realize you are strong. I want you to visualize yourself and tell yourself, I love myself. Without conditions. And I pardon myself. I would have performed better if I had known better. You will need to master the muscle if you want to win the battle for your future. Of self-compassion when you are really depressed. Even though there is no light visible when you look up, you know that this darkness will eventually cease at that point. You'll realize how resilient you really are. Just keep going. If it seems like you're going through a terrible moment right now, wait till tomorrow, because you should consider the person next to you as well as individuals worldwide. If you ever encounter some people and consider, you know, they're going through a lot more than what I'm going through, since in all honesty, there will always be those who are experiencing much more hardship than you are at the moment. Remember the past, but don't dwell on all of your previous errors. Forgive yourself up till this precise moment. Freedom that comes with forgiving means that you may encounter individuals who will do you things. And the most crucial thing to do is to use your willpower, let go, and move on so that you may develop and acquire, continue living your life. What counts is what you are doing, not what happens to you. This is a process, and you must endure some discomfort in order to may appreciate the value of strength. Therefore, don't give up on your dreams. Never give up on yourself or your aspirations. I am not implying that you are insane, but we all have two individuals. The voice that we all like is the easy voice. It's your mother hugging you, saying it in a really cozy voice. No matter how wonderful you are, it will all be well. Just love. No matter how chaotic your life is, you just love yourself, so that's that one voice. We are walking far away from this other voice, which is a kid shouting, "Hey dude, you ain't doing so." We made an effort to fully remove this voice from our minds, and we reside in this place. Thus, the first thing you need to do is listen to this voice stating things to you that aren't pleasant, and we think, you know what, man? You're not doing anything, and I'm not telling you to be depressed. Stating that the truth isn't in the 20% and that you should listen to it. In reality, there is another part of your brain that tells you, look, man, you're wasting a lot of percentage. Here we're not using any more of the 0% since in this other not a single person is in pain. Darkness, suffering, failure, and self-doubt, and then an abundance of light, but in order to reach this brightness, you must. Despite all, many of us are aware that I may come over here, but wow. This is a lot better since I have to continue on this unpleasant trip from we chose to move here, since it's not enjoyable to be between 20 and 100. Everyone asks how we do it, but you know precisely how to do it. It's not a magic trick. Nothing I discuss is a magic trick. Everything comes down to a plain basic mentality that says us must do something. Such breathing becomes automatic, as if we were unaware that we were doing it. You must spend your life in that manner. Thank you.